6 years ago, the end of 2019, I moved to Berlin. And I moved to a lovely, nice apartment, which the parents of the friends were owning, and it just happened to be vacant because the elderly lady couldn't manage to walk up the stairs anymore. So sad for her, because she loved that area, she loved that apartment, and now she had to leave it in her elderly days. But lucky for me, because I got a cute, gorgeous little apartment in a lovely neighborhood in Berlin. Yet, something weird occurred while I was laying in bed at night. There was this, it wasn't a humming, it was like a really low vibrating, yeah, maybe it was a low vibrating hum. It was kind of if I was living near what's the name? Near a harbor where ships were landing, and a ship far, far away was approaching the harbor and like sending the signal out, hey, I'm arriving, open the gates or whatever because I'll be here soon. But I thought, well, it's Berlin, there's not such a harbor nearby. I wonder what it is that I'm hearing this noise. And I checked the windows, I checked the doors, if there was any cracks or if I left something open, or if it was just the electricity circuits in the building or in the apartment. I couldn't find any of that, and so I was really confused, and I checked if it's this year or this year, and I realized, yeah, it's I think I'm listening, I'm hearing it on both ears, and I was absolutely certain that it was coming from the outside, because if I put an earplug, like I had an earplug which I use when I go to concerts so I can hear the music, but I tune out the ultra high noises so it doesn't hurt my ears. So I put in that earplug and that sound was gone. So I thought, yeah, of course it's coming from outside. And it kept happening, and usually I only noticed it while lying in bed. And it was really irritating, and of course especially annoying, because sleeping with an earplug is not the most fun thing to do. Also because after a while it becomes, at least to me, it became very uncomfortable. And then stuff happened and life went on, and I didn't really think too much of it because I can't change the sounds and noises coming from outside. And then within Berlin, I moved apartments again, and the noise followed me. And I thought, that's weird, because that noise was from that area. Why is it in this area? It's a completely different location, it's a completely different building, it's different windows, it's different doors. Why is that noise following me? And then I realized that noise is coming from me. Something's with my ear. Because again, if I just pressed it or put an earplug, the noise was gone. And I didn't have it on the left ear, and I hadn't been paying attention because I just heard it and I thought, oh, now it's gone, maybe I'm not listening so good with this one. But then I realized, no, it's something which my right ear is doing. And it wasn't like a high-pitched sound which I had connected with tinnitus or something like that. It wasn't like that. It was a really low vibrating sound. And then I went to see an ear doctor because I thought, well, this is really confusing, it's irritating, it's very uncomfortable, and it's not good, because especially last year when like the shit was hitting the fan, I could not sleep. And I had to put an earplug in so much and so deep that it really was painful. So I wasn't listening to those noises anymore, but I was having pain in my ear because it was just stretched too widely, which was utterly uncomfortable. And I did remember that years ago when I did some voice training with Kristen Linklater, and I was in my big, full-bodied voice, that, which I'm not now, that this ear, like the ear trumpet, something closed off or opened up, because suddenly I was numb. I was deaf on this ear. It was like listening as if I was swimming 10 meters below water. Something really weird happened. But nobody else noticed because they said, oh, your voice is so much wider and grander and everything's good. But I thought, well, if I can't listen with this ear when my voice is grand and fabulous, I don't care about my voice because I'd rather hear with both ears. And back then I'd been to an ear doctor and he didn't find anything, but he was curious about it. But yeah, we couldn't find anything which could have been causing that. But it was a curiosity that on that ear where it was affected by vibrations of sound from my voice, that I was experiencing vibrations of low humming. And so I went to this ear doctor, and also she examined and looked at it, and she looked at my nose and everything, and she said, well, I can't find anything. Well, but you're above 40, you're in a special age, and even like a tiny millimeter of tissues sink or whatever, that can affect your ears or your nose. And I thought, well, that's a fabulous explanation. So what's that supposed to be? Should I be sleeping, living with an earplug now for all my life? That cannot be the solution. Gladly, unexpectedly, what I found is that once I started with hormone replacement or hormone therapy, those sounds have become less in intensity, less in frequency, and definitely less in annoyance. So that's really, really nice. So also with my ear, whatever it is that it is, I noticed it's connected to hormonal levels. And the good thing is, for months now, there was no need that I sleep or go through the day with an earplug, because it never bothered me as much anymore. I mean, sometimes, especially when I'm lying in bed in the evening or in the morning when I wake up, there's a little of a vibration and of that low humming sound, but it's so quiet compared to what I had known. It was really, picture sounding a harbor. It was really, really, really strong, and now it's nothing like that anymore. So I'm very glad that unexpectedly estrogen and progesterone and possibly DHEA are also helping with my ears. So that's been two things just in this little part of my body which have been highly affected by hormones negatively, and gladly also respond positively about the treatment. Once the eye, the other's the ear, I will continue with the nose, and I will continue with the brain, because that's the majority where I'm experiencing issues. And I think especially the brain issues are so important to look at, because they do have an impact and can influence what's going to be happening in a few years down the line. Depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, it's not fun things. So I want to do my best for my brain to stay healthy down the line, and to be healthy now in the present, to be able to live fully and not be limited by hormonal fluctuations. So I hope this helped you. If you're experiencing similar things with your ears, with your eyes, with your brain, please share in the comments. I'm curious to hear your stories too.